and mysticals the inexplicable smell, the smell of monster. The possessions all monsters. It was a smell of something he didn't know how to name. The smell of that crouching, stalking, and ready to jump. And creature couple of eating anything, but especially hungry for chilled meat. That morning he had opened the door for Grub earnestly for the switch, holding the door frame with the force of always a tie, the tip of tongues pitting out of the corner of his mouth like a drowned, funny, clear. What do you bet? Look, Georgie, is afraid of the dark. What a fool! And the sound of the piano came from what his father called living from his mother's room. Visits, he sounded like music from another world, far away. How conversations and lower should sound from a crowded beach to excused swimmer who you. His fingers found the switch. Oh, they powered it nothing. There was no light. The electric current. Georges went his arm like a basket full of snakes. He stepped back, the heart hungry in the chest. There was no current was cut off. Hope, Walling, and now that, tell Bill that he could not take the box with him. Sometime caught him in the basement, start sometime creature much worse than those two things. Sometime that will simply slip a part of his ankle. It will be amazing. Others mind loud and furious. Bill will say, "Let's see if you rub out Georgia. Do you want this little butt or not?" As if reading the thought, Bill yelled from the bedroom, "You die down there, Georgette." "No, I'll take it," Bill Georgette answered in. Minute he rubbed his arm so that the tail goosebumps and the skin disappeared. I was going to be smoke again. I have only entertained myself in taking a little water. Well, hurry up. So George went down the 4 steps that were missing to reach the basement self to her beating in his street. How hammered the nape hair in the position of firm, eyes boring, hands frozen, and the assurance that anytime the door of the basement would close along covering the white light that fell from the kitchen windows, and they'll will hear that sometimes words that all in Japanese. Words that acclaimed the room. Words that paints of the 100 horror movies that Welling and deeply Georgia will hear the roll in toes. The basement seconds before that. I have been streaming in apartment in the evening, then replied, greedy pieces, all these towers. The city of the day of its reigns to him, made of the full day, hard chance the pavement were divided by the intersection of Jackson and Wickham. As Alice blows in the miniature, many inhabitants of the rig had started them to make nervous shocks, and he managed to keep it open in the Jackson Street, but Richmond was impossible from the progress to the very center of the city. All agreed, however, on that the worst was over. The Canandaigua River has run almost to its margins in the westlands, and only very few centimeters below to the cement walls of the canal they constructed it. At last told the center of the city. It was moments ago, man among them, Sam the Pope, the father of George and Bill. I was remembering the sandbags that had been released the previous day in the terrific haste. In 1831 had been a disaster with a cost of millions of dollars and more than 20 lives. That was a long time ago, but there were still people out there who would remember him from scared arrest. One of the victims of the had been found Malport, about 40 kilometers away. Fish they had eaten, that one for two gentlemen, the eyes, 3 fingers, the penis, and most of the foot left. Seized by what remained of these hands, the steering wheel of the fort had appeared. Now, however, the river was backing up, and when the new dam rises, exercises of one remaining of his hands, the steering wheel of fort had appeared. Now, however, the river was breaking up, and when the new dam rises, vanguard hydraulic upstream will stop be at least that was said the he working hydraulic vanguard for the others. Well, the future conditions will wait. The important thing was get out of the return the electric current and therefore get it. In theory, that of forgetting tragedy and disaster was almost an art, such as Bill the Pope will come to discover eventually. George stopped just behind the barriers on the edge of the crack that had opened on the star surface of Richmond. On the streets, arriving on almost exactly in the diagonal, and it ended at the other end of the street, about 12 meters from where he was. He down the right, he shouted out loud, the sound of lonely childlike joy saying goals of the grey afternoon, while the copies of the overload where he was carrying his boat, people on the track to a skull formed by America on the pavement. There was an open his boot in the ground. Urgency channel, the round down the layout, therefore a street shape was coming from the place, from the streets. George ran forward to him, where he stretched. And what do you think about the book?
I think the book is good because the clown is terrorific and the history is mystery.
Um, like you can see, you what do you know how many time uh, pass to in the history in the book to the clown start? Do you know how many time passed to the magician start?
Yeah, I know. I remember it's 86 years.
Okay.
Well, I have a question for you. Well, what did you think about the book?
The book is good because it has a lot of good parts because the book talks, for example, about specific things. For example, when the clown start eating his foods and start doing some stuff with the child. And for example, I like the first part that we read about it, and it talks, for example, when the little Georgie, they start in that day, they will start raining, and then they go to the outside with his paper, with his sheet and paper, and like was raining, he went to the street and start following his paper about his boat paper, and then he found the clown in the Alcantara, and then the clown started doing some terrific stuff, like eating his arm, and then, well, he couldn't come back to see his brother, who was so terrified because he couldn't find his brother. And I think it's a good book for that things that is a terror story, and the history is good about the movie and the book.
Yeah, I don't read the book. Well, the first pages, but I watched the movie, and the movie is good. It's good because the clown is more terrific, and and in the movie chills run for his life because the clown want eating the kids. Okay, what do you think about the fathers of George? Because okay, wait a minute. Because they don't lot believe.
I think they were not agree with their child because they thought that was a superficial story, and that wasn't true. But the reality is another. And for example, I have another question for you. Do you know how many years was the kid Bill?
And Georgie?
I don't know. 10?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 is more easy because it's a chills. It's a motherfucker chills. Okay.
Yes, it's